Oh, we got Disney here, huh? Oh, that's all. Netflix, I'm kidding. All right, you guys wear your Netflix hat. It's awesome. All right, what do we got? Nothing? Beautiful. This is great.
Just curious, has C.J. Daniels done much work in practice this week, and do you expect him to be available on Saturday?
We're going to update that after we get a chance to talk to our trainers. He moved around again, so we'll have further updates on him after tonight's workout.
Sure. And then there's been a couple of receivers that you have on that injury report. It indicates that all those guys can't go. Who are some guys maybe after that Kyron Lacy grouping that you're looking at that could kind of step up with some added reps, I guess, on Saturday?
Well, I mean, clearly Xavion, will be, prominently, look to play a larger role for us. Aaron Anderson, certainly. And then, we feel like, with, Kamara and Pimpton and Tradez Green, we have two ball catchers there that can also be in our rotation that certainly can help us out from that standpoint. Sheldon Sampson obviously is another receiver, that will obviously get an opportunity to compete for us, and Jelani Watkins. So we feel like certainly we'd love to have those guys, but if they're not available, we believe that we have guys that really can do a nice job for us.
Hey, Coach, kind of wondering about the pace of play. Kentucky, when they played these guys, they held the ball a lot, ran the ball, picked up first downs for the most part. And you guys have done that too, but you also have that quick strike element to your offense.
Yeah.
How do you kind of control the pace of play, and do you have a preference maybe?
I've always felt pace of play is about being successful defensively, in particular on first down. So, they're going to go really fast if they have easy access throws, if they're able to keep the chains in their favor. So a lot of pace of play is not just dictated by what you do on offense, it's about what you do on defense as well. So, we're going to be who we are offensively, and certainly, there are times where, we can control the pace of play from an offensive perspective. And maybe there will be times that we need to do that, based upon how the game is flowing, and our offense is set up that way. But this is a lot on the defense as well, and making sure that, we make it difficult for them to manage the chains.
Coach, I assume Zy Alexander, he'll be good to go this weekend out of the concussion protocol.
Yes, he was out, yes.
So him and, Ashton and some of the other corners, how do you want them to, I guess, cover Ole Miss's receivers, and what do you want to see from your secondary in terms of defending that pass?
Yeah, again, we're a team that has to be able to mix it up on the back end of our defense. If you just give them one static look, they're impossible to defend, and that's the nature of their offensive structure. You've got to be able to do some things that, give them, pre-snap and post-snap a different look, and that's really the nature of what we're going to have to do, and you have to execute it. And that's the rub, right? I mean, they do such a great job of having answers, for virtually everything you do. So we've got to mix it up. You can't play a lot of soft coverages, or they just exploit you on the perimeter with quick game and run after the catch. And so, again, the challenges within this offense that we face are, perimeter throws, tackling in space. A lot of the things that we did poorly last year, we're going to have to play so much better this year.
Coach, I know you talked about the Ole Miss defense, particularly the transfers that they've
Excuse
added.
me, sorry about
All
that.
good. All that they've added earlier this week. Does it surprise you that they've been able to make such an immediate impact quickly on this defense and kind of turn things around this fast?
Well, no, I mean, the personnel is really good. It's just a matter of getting it to mesh together. When you add the players like Princely and Ivy and Nolan, and the backers are outstanding. Amos. I mean, this is a collection of top flight talent, but you never know, right? It's an all-star team. Are they gonna blend well together? And they have. They've done a great job of getting 11 guys to play well together. But I'm not surprised because they're extremely talented individually, and they're playing well together as a group.
Brian, I know the injury report said that Caden is probable.
Yeah.
But I guess just from like just a health perspective, like just how close is he to being able to suit up for you guys on Saturday night? And then two, if he's able to go, just his ever-growing role in your guys' offense, like how has he been able to just I think a word you've used a lot recently is kind of rise to the occasion. Like how's he been able to sort of not allow the moment to be too big for a freshman running back?
Yeah, again, addressing his, he practiced today. I'll meet with Owen and our trainers after practice and assess whether we change that status. But I'd be surprised if he goes down from probable, based upon what my eyes saw today. But again, freshmen playing, it's a lot more about how they handle things mentally, and he just has, that kind of the guys that I've always started as freshmen handle the moment beautifully. They're not too high, they're not too low. If they make a mistake, they put it behind them and they move on to the next play. And he just has that ability to not let something detract him from the next play. And I think that's what the secret is for young players.
In Garrett's first year as a full-time starter, how has he handled this bye week in preparation for this week?
I think really well. I mean, again, I think he's looked at through self-scouting the things that he needs to work on. We did an exhaustive scout in terms of, throws and completions and, all of those things. So he went to work on those this week. I think he made some pretty good progress. And, he's that kind of guy. I mean, he wants to know all the data. He wants to know, what are the things that I need to improve on. And I think he did a great job this week in working on it.
One guy we haven't talked a whole lot about this season is Lacy. What have you seen from him overall? How would you assess how his season has gone so far?
I think, he had a couple of games where, he'd like a couple of catches back, but by and large, he's made some big plays. If you go back to the South Carolina game, some, game-changing plays against, South Carolina. He's just a really dependable, solid player for us. Had a couple of, mistimed drops, but, he made up for them, in the course of the game, and that's what he generally does. If he has a drop, he's going to come back and make a big play for you. And he's been a really good leader for us as well. He's been great in practice. He pushes the guys. He's very vocal. And he's the guy that we really lean on, in that room.
So Ole Miss's offensive line, from what I saw, has been susceptible to allowing sacks a little bit this season. Obviously, pass rush has been good for you guys at points. In that South Alabama game without Perkins, have you seen that consistent pressure continue without him in there?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're doing really well on the edges. Both, Savion and Braden are doing a great job. I think we're getting some pressure from the inside. Whether we bring Witt or not, I mean, I think the complementary pressures have been good. We'll have to continue to do that because Harold's not playing this year. So we've been pleased with the pressure that we've gotten with our front, and we're going to need to continue to do that. Now, the ball comes out really quick, so this is not an offense that's susceptible to, a lot of sacks because the game is such that the ball comes out so quickly from Jackson Dart's hand. You're going to have to go chase him down. But, you're looking for pressures and batted balls and things like that. And, we're going to need to affect some throws too.
I mean, kind of building on that, you've talked a lot about with this up-tempo offense y'all are facing, just the importance of communication and just how much that's been stressed. I know Greg Penn's obviously a big voice. I'm curious if there's other guys that you guys have looked at and leaned on that are going to have to be communicating throughout the defense, and is it kind of limited to a few guys, or do you want a bunch of guys?
No, the safeties have to do a great job. I mean, I think, when you're playing an up-tempo offense like this, it's easier to get the calls with the front seven. It's a lot more difficult because you're flipping, from hash to hash, corners and safeties, and getting aligned to formations. It's much more of a communication game with the back end of your defense. That's where you have to be spot on. That's where you got to get your nickel lined up. Or, obviously from our standpoint, we're not playing with a particular, 3 linebacker set. We're playing, with a rover set. So, getting them lined up. Is the ball in the middle of the field? Is it a right call? Is it a left call? Those are absolutely crucial. And that's the back end of the defense. And that's the area that we spent a lot of time over the last 10 days.
I know obviously the what happens between the lines is what's going to figure out who's going to win this game and all that and executing. Is there just a sense of pride for you and for this team of how hard it has been for opponents to come in here and win inside Tiger Stadium?
Yeah, I think it's, before I even got here, it's the history and tradition of Tiger Stadium. Coming in here is a difficult feat. And we're just trying to live up to the tradition that has been already built. And that means, playing, 4 quarters and not, we've had, one poor performance here since I've gotten here. And, fighting right to the very end, playing the way LSU fans would want us to play. And I think that that's the standard more than anything else. There's going to be some better games than others, but fighting for 4 quarters and playing to the standard that's already been built here. Great, thank you.